What is going on, guys? It's Apex Formers here with Apex Gaming 1173, and then this is basically a video about PCs versus next-gen consoles or current-gen consoles, whichever you can afford. This is a 4 to 5 gameplay over the background. This is live gameplay. So PCs versus next-gen consoles. Basically, next-gen consoles are great. They're awesome. Now, PCs, however, if you compare, let's say, if you compare PCs to next-gen consoles, PCs are going to win. If you have the right processor and graphics card, PCs will win every time. If you have a 770 GTX 770 and an Intel Core i7, or if you have an AMD Radeon 290X and an Intel Core i7 or an AMD 8350, they're going to blow away next-gen graphics. Yes, some console fanboys out there will be like, oh, PS4 plays at 1080p, 60 frames per second. Yeah. You can play PC at 4K, which is 2560p. Oh, I'm sorry, 2160p at 60 FPS if you have the right graphics card. Ain't no PS3 or PS4 or Xbox One playing at that resolution at that frame rate. I don't care what nobody says. That's, by the way, some drag racing gameplay. So, whatever guy is bullshitting to you about, oh, my PS4 can play in 1080p, 60 frames per second, blah 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 blah, and your PC can't do that. If you have the right graphics card and the right processor, you can do whatever you want. You can play in 6K, which TVs that are in 6K right now are like $20,000, which basically people that watch my channel probably not going to be able to afford that. But if you wanted to, you can play in 6K, which I don't know what resolution that is. It's like 2720, I think it's 2720p. I think that is. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it probably would be, which is insane resolution. I mean, if you ever stared at a 4K TV, I looked at one in Best Buy. It hurt my eyes from looking at it. The TV I have right now, the one on screen, right there as you can see, the one you're staring at, is a 1080p TV, 60 Hz 1080p. It is a Sony Bravia TV. The picture looks great. Everything looks great about it. I mean, you can see the picture, and you can't see no pixels like you would in the 360 or the Xbox or the PS3. I mean, the game, it's amazing. But PC, I would say PC's better if you want to play in high resolutions. What the heck, my ABS kick on? Yeah, so if you want to play in high resolutions, PC is better. But if you want to play in this normal resolution, 1080p, 720p, Xbox One and the PS4 are better. I'm talking this is if you have $1,500 or more to spend, or $1,000, $1,500 more to spend. That's price tag you want to get if you want to play 1080p at 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second. I mean, if you have $500, $580, $600, buy a next gen console, buy Xbox One or PS4. Man, PCs at that price point are worth it if you get the right processor or if you build it yourself. Building yourself is definitely worth it, but most things aren't worth it if you just want to mess around in it. If you just want to if you just want to play around with it, play a little bit of games, play Minecraft, play Call of Duty, next gen consoles are better. But if you want to play games at like friggin' super high resolutions, go with a PC. PCs will blow a console out of the water all day long. Let's do some drifting gameplay here. Let me try to set up a nice track and everything. We could do that. 1 lap. Actually, let's put out 2 laps, or 3 laps. Like my friend has a PS3. My friend Isaac, that you guys probably watching the channel, if you get his channel sometimes. He has a PS3. His PS3 plays Battlefield 4 at 600p at 30 frames per second. But however, most people will tell you my PS3 plays it at 1080p. No, it plays it at 720p and then 600p, but it's upscaled 720p. So if you have anybody that says my my PS3 plays it at 1080p at 60 FPS, they're bullcrap. They're lying to you. No last gen console plays any game at 1080p. Well, maybe some games, but most games will not play at 1080p at 60 FPS, like Titanfall. On the last gen consoles, it's playing at 30 FPS. That's what I heard at least. On current gen consoles, 1080p, 60 frames per second. The next gen consoles will die off soon. So if you're watching this in 30 years, just buy a PC. If you're watching this in like 3-4 years, PCs will be way up there and there'll be way more parts available and everything. Like the GTX 750 just came out, I think about a week ago probably. And I watched Jay's 2 cents on his review on it. It's not a bad card. It's not a bad graphics card for the price you pay. What else is there? I mean, if you're buying anything with like a GT 630 in it, or maybe even stupid ABS, why are you kicking on? Ah, there's a wall there, that's why. Apparently I can't see. If you're buying anything with like a GTX 630 in it, or I'm sorry, a GT 630 in it, or an AMD like low end card that's like $50 or $60, it's not worth it. I mean, PCs generally have more RAM than consoles. Yes, the Xbox One and PS4 have both have 8 gigabytes of RAM. I think the Xbox One has GDR3 and the PS4 has GDR5 RAM. Spun out here. But PCs, you can get 64 gigabytes of RAM. You can get 2 processors. You can get 6 graphics cards. If you have the money to, of course. And it's only certain cards apply to SLI, what's it called? SLI, yeah. Functions. That's when you can connect 2 graphics cards to 1 motherboard. Which consoles, you cannot upgrade your console, your Xbox 60. You cannot do it. Physically impossible for you to upgrade your console. If you want to, you can turn your Xbox 360 into a PS and turn your Xbox 360 into a PC. Not that I'll do that. I wouldn't do that though, because you can put, if you rewrite the software in your Xbox 360, take out the motherboard, put a new motherboard in, keep the RAM the same, 512 megabytes of RAM, keep that the same, keep the processor the same, swap out the motherboard. You can make your Xbox 360 into a PC. I mean, it's plain and simple. You can make it into a low-end PC that can play Minecraft on PC at medium settings, talking like medium render distance, medium everything. Talking like 10 chunks, you can update it to. Smooth lighting, you have that off. And you can get that at 60 FPS. Guarantee that. You can play most Call of Duties at let me see. You can play most Call of Duties at 30 FPS, 45 FPS. Not only that's only requiring you $20 motherboard swap. Or if you have an old computer that's compatible with that RAM and stuff, most computers are that you have in your house that are junk are 10 years old. So yeah, you can swap out the motherboard net, pay $20 for that, pay $20 for the motherboard, or get the motherboard out of your computer, swap it into a 360. Bam, you got yourself a nice gaming PC. Not nice, but you can play at least Minecraft and some Call of Duties on it and everything. I mean, it's not going to be playing... You'll play Call of Duty. You play Call of Duty on low settings. You won't play it at high settings or at ultra settings. No, that wouldn't be possible. But if you upgrade the processor in the Xbox 60, I think it's like 2.75 gigahertz or 3.5 gigahertz. I'm not mistaken. I have to check my math. I'll check my stats on that. It's a damn good card. It's a damn good processor. But you won't get a better processor. I mean, you will, obviously. But for the time, for 2005 when the 360 came out, that processor was like, what? It was like, they made a processor 3.75 gigahertz? That's insane. Most people back then had computers with 1 gigahertz, 1.5 gigahertz processors, computers. Nobody had 3.75 gigahertz. But the Xbox One's only, I think, 2 gigahertz or 1 gigahertz. It's kind of ridiculous. I just took a step back in the graphics, but oh well. I'm not doing a very good drifting job. It's not looking, but kind of cool that people turn old consoles into PCs. There is a mod that you can do for your original Xbox, like the Xbox, like you know what I'm talking about. If you played it before, if you're old enough, you can swap out the processor on that and the motherboard and the graphics card and make it into one badass Xbox. I've seen videos how to do it on YouTube. There's this guy. He took a motherboard. He took the motherboard out of the original Xbox, put it in his own motherboard, put an AMD motherboard in it, and then put an AMD processor in it, and then put an AMD graphics card in it. And it still played original Xbox games with the what you call, it wouldn't play on a disc. It had to be like on a ROM, like on the ROM. I can download stuff off the internet. It had to be on one of them. It played original Xbox games at friggin' beast mode. I mean, it looked as good as Forza 5. It looked as good as Forza 5 did. That's how good it looks. Well, guys, I gotta get going here. This is your boy Apex Formers. Comment, rate, subscribe. I'm out.